Imagine your life at peak impact. I want you to draw your impact at that moment.
Okay, I think I'm done.
All right. Show me and describe.
You see a house, right?
Yeah.
You see a couple on top of the house.
Yeah.
That's me and my wife.
Okay.
Um, you see a heart in between.
Uh-huh.
That's representing our love.
Love.
You cannot see, but like both of them have a happy face. So that
Okay.
means that we're happy.
Happy in love. I like it.
Below the, still
Uh-huh.
on top of the house, you see like 6 little people.
Uh-huh.
That's our kids.
I like it.
We're in number 2 right now.
I love
So 4 more to
it.
go. And on the bottom, you see a house representing our home.
Okay.
Um, our home is, it's not just like the physical place, but like something that we build,
Mm-hmm.
that we can call home, that we are comfortable, an environment, also like not just in the physical world.
Mm-hmm.
And then on top of that,
Mm-hmm.
you see 4 like different circles coming from my
Mm-hmm.
head.
Mm-hmm.
You have a G, you have a P, S, and question mark.
Mm-hmm.
The G
Mm-hmm.
represents Grocy,
Mm-hmm.
and that's why it starts at the beginning.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if you know this, but the company, it's not Grocy, it's actually called Solution One,
Mm-hmm.
and Grocy is just one of the products. So
All
this
right.
is our first product. And you can see that Grocy, below Grocy, there's 2 arrows, one
Mm-hmm.
going to some people and the other one coming from the other people.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I was I was having a hard time coming up with like an illustration of how to represent value, and I
Mm-hmm.
just put a happy face,
Mm-hmm.
giving value to a community. But actually, what they're giving me back is feedback, so I
Mm-hmm.
can keep improving, and that's why I put an ear on the other arrow coming from them
Mm-hmm.
to the company. And then you have P, S, and question mark left.
Mm-hmm.
Those are the P and the S are 2 other products that I've been thinking of. I don't know how, if we're gonna proceed those or it might change. But as of now, like we
Mm-hmm.
want to, there's a
We'll
this
talk
is
about it.
what I'm
Let's
thinking.
yeah, let's just finish the drawing. So there's like a fire and the question mark. What's that?
Yeah, that's the other one because I want to be a serial entrepreneur. So I want to be
Okay.
building. I don't want to be just in one company, maybe working on multiple at the time. But only time will tell. And the fire means, yeah, just keep the flame on. Like
Mm-hmm.
keep pursuing the energy. Just yeah, I don't know if that makes sense,
Yeah,
but
and what's the there's a 2 cars and then like a rock?
okay. Uh, a rock. No, it's supposed to be a circle with a question mark too.
Okay.
Um, because I wanna keep like mystery. I think
Mm-hmm.
mystery is big part of the future. Like I don't wanna know. It's kind of like knowing if you're gonna die. It kind of makes, I don't know, life less entertaining. So I wanna keep pursuing new entertainments, but the cars, like I really like cars, and I
Okay.
have not been able to work on. And one of the goals is to gain the freedom and start working on cars.
Love it. And what's the other thing on the other side? That's the mirror?
Which thing?
On the other side of the page. Yeah.
That's the community. So I wish I had more space,
Mm-hmm.
but this is like my home, like a workplace to do other stuff, activities. And
Mm-hmm.
right here on the other side is the community. Like I
What's
was trying to paint the city.
oh,
I
it's
live
a
in a,
city or like a building?
it's a building, and that was like the way that I represented the city because I live in a city. It's
Okay.
not the biggest, but it's close. Well, it's close to Chicago, so Chicago is pretty big.
Mm.
But yeah, the city, and yeah, I just wanna be building something for them too, because I'm gonna be part of the community.
Interesting.
And something small detail, like on top of each head of
Yeah.
my kids and my wife, there's like this cloud, this circle
Hmm.
going out of them, and I wanna be part of that too. I wanna be a spectator and yeah, see them grow, do their own thing as
So
I do
that's
my
like
own
their
thing.
dreams are in the cloud.
Their dreams, their life. Yep. See them, and yeah, just imagine that times seven.
Yeah,
Like it's gonna
I
be a
love it.
good show.
I love it. And like, you want to be like the inspiration for that?
Ah, I mean, yes. That's I don't know if that's the goal. Like I wanna be a role model, not the because if I'm the inspiration, that in my mind seems like they have to follow my steps, and I want them to be their own people too. So if I can be a
Yeah.
good role model, so they can find what they wanna do, that will be enough for me.
Okay. Just based on that, and don't take this the wrong way.
Yeah.
It's too unfocused.
Don't focus.
Yeah.
Okay.
Like what your impact, right? Like there's not a single thing you want, and you put a lot of things up for mystery. And
Okay.
it's uh it it might be, you know, something I'm missing, but
Mm-hmm.
there's not a lot of certainty or assertiveness, or like, this is what I want, boom, and I'm
Okay.
gonna work towards that. It's a lot of maybe, three products, maybe serial entrepreneur, maybe I get another car, maybe I don't, maybe whatever, maybe
Mm-hmm.
that, and it's like, where's that coming from?
The like uncertainty or what
Yeah,
was
exactly. Uncertainty is a good way of putting it.
like I don't know. When you ask the question, I like these are things I've been thinking. The
Yeah.
company is probably yeah, you're right. There's some uncertainty,
Mhm.
and but like the family, the cars, that's something that I've been working towards.
But what do you want to
So
be for? Like, you like all their dreams, and I want to be a spectator, and that was such a interesting choice of word.
yeah,
Like, why
okay,
spectator? Why not driving force or fuel or inspiration? You said inspiration. I don't like, because I'm gonna mess with their. But that's your role. Your role as a father is to influence. So why
yeah.
are you not embracing that influence or role?
No, I guess I use probably not the best words, but
But you also
honestly,
rejected the word inspiration. You know
yeah,
what I mean?
because I don't want them to follow my steps. Like if they want to, go for it.
Why
But
not?
I because like there are people, they're gonna be thinking different things, right? They're gonna have their own personality and probably like building an application that's very tied to my personality, to my skills, to what I like to do. And why would I want them to do the same thing if they like to draw or they like to,
Not the same
I
thing,
don't
but
know.
like, maybe the same process, not necessarily, or even a better process. Like,
Yeah, yeah. And that's the
you know what I
thing.
mean?
If it's a better process, how can I teach them? They kind of have to discover that, and that's like I have to be a role model, yes, but just having me, I don't know, like they need to have a variety in order to experiment, to come up with their own way.
But
And
both those things can be true, though. Why
how?
why are they mutually exclusive? Like, you can say, I want to be a strong role model that inspires my kids to, thrive and reach to the top and go after it and all that. And
Yeah,
you can also say, I also want to embrace their way and empower them to do what they want, and like both those things can be true at the same time. You know what I mean?
And don't get me wrong, I want that. I want that. But also, I wanna see it. Like I don't wanna be too like involved in every small decision that they take. Like, um,
But you're setting up the environment. Like it's you don't have to be involved. Like that's being micromanaged is just gonna create dependence, right? Like and
mhm.
you want. I understand what you're saying. You say I want independent kids that have
Yep,
the courage and power to do what they want and go all in and all of that. But that has to be modeled. The kids
yeah.
don't get that.
And I think I was picturing that with a home. Like, I want to create a place where they can call home. And I don't know if you ask me, I will think that that's also a model that you're
Mhm.
presenting to them. Like, this is
Yeah.
how a family is supposed to look.
But the
And
ownership of it is not. That's what I'm trying to
okay.
attack here because like the way you said it was, maybe, and it was like, why isn't it like this is what I want and I'm working hard towards it and I want to
Okay.
raise independent kids and I want them to pursue whatever they love and I'm gonna provide the environment for them. Like the passion behind it
Mhm.
is not as
Yeah. And
strong
honestly,
as it can be.
that's a good observation. And maybe it might relate to my current state.
Yeah.
Like, I'm in this place where I'm working towards this application.
Uh-huh.
I know that I want to make something cool, and I don't know
Uh-huh.
what's gonna be next. So I don't even know what I want. So that's why I was kind of like spectating, kind of see what they're gonna be doing. So obviously, I'm gonna be their father, so I'm gonna be supporting them. But I don't know. Maybe I was thinking about my current situation. Like,
Like
if
you're
I don't
thinking of like
know,
giving up, like you keep talking about what's coming next, and it's like, why is there a next? Like, why is there not? How can we blow
eh,
Grocy up
no,
in the
yeah,
next 5 years, 10 years?
and we were talking about this like earlier, the complete solution.
Yeah.
Um, like, yes, Grocy is gonna solve a problem,
Mhm.
hopefully multiple problems.
Mhm.
Um, but there's more that I wanna do as a person. There's more that I want to be working on. Like,
Like what? Like you said, there was like P and an S. What's the P? What's the S? And I can
yeah,
cut it from the video if you don't want it out in the world, but I just need to
no,
know.
yeah, I don't mind. I mean,
Yeah.
saying the ideas. Uh,
Yeah.
Before I used to think that they're gonna steal it, but they
Yeah.
have to actually work towards that, and that's the
Yeah.
hard part.
Yeah.
Plenty and smart houses.
Mm-hmm.
At least that's the current vision.
Mm-hmm.
Plenty can be like it's connecting more to the physical world
Mm-hmm.
using electronics.
Mm-hmm.
And right now I'm working towards the software part,
Mm-hmm.
which is Grocy, using artificial intelligence, building a digital environment.
Mm-hmm.
Smart houses, I feel like it's like a next level of that transition. Um, like, where we have electronics and like software that can work together. Let's take it to the next level. And the question mark is like, we'll see what's the next feature. Let's see what we build. And that was like the whole reason
Yeah,
of
you're too
Solution One.
product focused, bro. You're too like
Yeah,
you're very objective in your thinking, and I would like you to take a step back
yeah.
and recognize that you're serving people and solving people problems, right?
Hmm.
Like who gives a f about smart homes
Yeah.
or an app or whatever? You're trying to connect with people's problems and give them solutions, right?
And that's why we're working with one product at a time, right? Like, those are thoughts, shower thoughts in a way, not really shower thoughts, because they're like, that's something that I want to pursue too. But it's like
But that
having
just sounds like
inspiration.
you're not happy pursuing what you're pursuing now.
I am, but like I cannot do everything in a single company.
But
You know,
why are you thinking of the next company before this company's had a chance to take off?
because we gotta
Like,
start
well, like
somewhere.
a small idea is
Hmm.
okay, like I have some of those ideas, like, oh, wouldn't it
Yeah.
be cool for me to do XYZ, right?
Okay.
But it is so small. I don't even think about it on a daily basis. Like it's,
Okay.
you know, I'm mostly thinking about caravan notes.
Hmm.
And I feel like you might be escaping reality by thinking about other these other things rather than saying, I know it's
Hmm.
coming off like brutal. I'll try
No,
to
yeah.
edit out the brutality.
No, no, keep it real.
I'm not trying to whatever, but it's just
No,
like
I think.
this vision you have
Mhm.
is not cohesive, is what I'm trying to say. Like it's not pointing to one direction.
And like, I think I see your point because I showed the picture, and you
Yeah.
think that Planty and smart houses, that's like in my head. Like, literally, right
Yeah.
now, Grocy is in my head. That's
Yeah.
where I want to work. That's what I want to make perfect.
Yeah.
Um,
But why?
and pla-
Why do you want to make it perfect? Like what is behind Grocy that fires you up that you're like, hell yeah, I'm working on this
yeah,
solution and I you know.
yeah. I mean, it relates to me. It relates to. I feel like many people. It solves a problem, or is trying to solve a problem that many people have with
There's a lot of
internet.
problems many people have. Why did you pick this one?
Because you gotta start somewhere. That was basically it. You
You
gotta start
just
somewhere.
pulled an idea from a hat.
Yep. Yeah. And if you think about it, like it's kind of like writing an essay for school. They give you a topic, or you pick a topic from a list. Like, yes, maybe the idea
So you're
it's
not
not.
passionate about this idea at all.
Yes, and that's where I'm going. The more that you dig into it, the more that you fall in love with it, right? The
No.
more that you learn about.
That's not real. That's not
That's
real
not
at
real.
all. No, bro. Like like this is
What?
what happens when you do that. When you pick an idea out of a hat,
Uh-huh.
you start thinking about the next idea and you start thinking about all these other things.
So you don't
Like
believe
it's
in
making
commitment?
sense. Now that you say that, that
No,
vision is making sense.
no. But so you don't commit to things. Like, I don't know. Like, it's a good idea in my mind, right? It's a good idea.
It doesn't
Yeah.
solve any problem you have. You picked it out of a hat.
No, it is solving a problem, and I think we haven't gone into that. But you asked like, oh, why did you pick this idea, right? Like, it was one that came to my mind,
Yeah.
but it's not like a random idea that I Google, like, oh, tell me an app
Yeah,
idea.
yeah.
No.
You just sat one day and was like, "What do people do? A lot of people go grocery shopping. Oh, well, guess what? I'm gonna build an app that gives them the grocery list."
And it was not like that.
It
It
wasn't like
was
that either.
no, it was
Hey,
not like that.
how did you get the idea?
Okay, and
Yeah.
you know what? We might talk more about this, but college was a very interesting time,
Hmm.
and that's where a lot of my independence experience came from.
Hmm.
So I was living alone. I was early 20s. I was 20-year old, and I had to buy stuff.
Hmm.
So um, I needed to cook. I needed to come with recipes. I needed an easy
Hmm.
way to manage my finances. So that's very personal to me. I know that a lot of people go through that, and that's where the idea came from, like from a personal problem that I was having.
Hmm.
So I can pick many others, but I mean, you gotta start somewhere, and that's where I'm going back. Like, you gotta start somewhere. If I try to, I don't know, solve an issue more related to me, then I'll be a doctor. But like, that's too complex. That's, I don't know if
I know,
I'm
but
very.
even that story, you create so much distance, and that's you. You had that problem. I don't know why you don't take full ownership of that story. It's just an attitude change. It's just saying, "Hey, when I was in college, I didn't
Mhm.
know how to cook. I didn't know how to buy groceries. I was like completely lost. And
Okay.
I would have loved an app that walked me through how to, buy groceries. Like, hey, this is the essentials. You need toilet paper. You need whatever. And in Grocy, you have these essentials
Hmm.
things, and then you have in Grocy, you have, hey, the first 5 recipes, easy to cook recipes that every college student needs to have. And and like, and mapping, and you're not going to make those decisions if you don't take full ownership of that store.
But why do you say I'm not taking full ownership of the story?
Because I believe for 1 minute that this was an
Mhm.
idea you pulled out of a hat. You know what I mean? Like,
Okay.
if like the way
Okay.
you talked about it, the way you presented it was like, oh yeah, it was, you got to start somewhere. And it's like,
Uh-huh.
what do you mean you got to start somewhere? Just take ownership and be proud of what
Okay.
you're building.
Yeah, and I don't know, like you saw two mystery boxes in my drawing.
Yeah.
Like you don't know what's the future holding, so you gotta embrace
No,
that.
you don't. You do know. You do know. Life is works with laws of physics and laws of social
Hmm.
dynamics, and you can learn how to manipulate those and control those and take power, and you
Oh, you
create
say
your
wait, you're
reality.
saying you do know?
Like, as far as living is concerned, I try to live like I do know. Sure, I can. See, there's this duality in everything, right? You
Okay,
can you can accept the mystery,
all right.
and enjoy the mystery that pops up,
Mm-hmm.
and that has its utility.
Okay,
But you can also embrace your control and your power.
all right.
You know what I mean? Like
So,
like
and I agree with
designing
that.
designing your life and designing your future. Mystery should not be how you do that. Like, you can still acknowledge
Hmm.
the phenomenon of mystery and
Yeah.
and randomness and luck and all of that,
All right.
and train yourself to adapt and deal with that.
Mm-hmm.
But in terms of living like material life,
Mm-hmm.
you should live like, I think so. This is my opinion, obviously.
Yeah.
I think you should live like you're in control, and you will find the reason. Like, there's this saying in, Arabia, where I'm from, right? And
Mm-hmm.
it's like, live for your afterlife, like
Okay.
spiritually, like you're gonna die today,
Mm-hmm.
and live for worldly things like you're gonna live forever. you know?
I think I've heard the phrase.
Yeah.
And
So it's like, the world is your oyster. You can get whatever you set your mind to, but if you don't
mhm.
set your mind to anything, you're gonna get nothing. Like,
No,
you
yeah,
know what I mean?
I agree. I agree. I mean, you gotta have goals. You gotta commit to those goals, and uh, like,
And you gotta believe in your power to achieve them.
and that's what we're doing. I mean, working towards that. That's believing in
Yeah,
your power. No.
100%. But I'm
Yeah.
I'm just telling you, language or internal language
Hmm.
is a huge part of that. And how convicted you are in those ideas, and how much ownership you take of those ideas,
Yeah.
translate into the passion and energy you give on a daily basis.
All right. Let me ask you something.
Yeah.
Do you prefer to which scenario you prefer? Do you prefer to be realistic and say like the most probable future, or would you prefer to be wrong and say a specific future, if
It's a
that makes
false
sense?
dichotomy. It's a false dichotomy. Like, this is not the reality of situation. You don't have to believe either of them.
Okay.
It's not. It's have a sense of humor. Things
Okay.
can go wrong.
Yes.
Who gives a fuck,
Yep.
right? But to get things in life requires certain skills,
Hmm.
and the realistic vision of it is, what skills am I lacking in, and how can I improve those skills?
Okay.
You know what I mean? Like, oh, for example, oh, my relationship with my wife sucks. Well, it's not your wife's fault.
Hmm.
You know, your wife is a human being like anybody else. They have needs,
Hmm.
they have whatever, they have dreams, they have, safety needs and all of that. How can I learn about what gets women in love and attached and all of that.
Okay.
How can I be the person that can provide emotional safety? How can I be
Mm-hmm.
the person that can be a cheerleader? How can I be a person who's assertive, who's respected by their wife? And you find all these gaps, and
Mm-hmm.
then you fill these gaps, and with time, you will get what you want, which is extreme love with your partner. Same thing in business.
Okay.
I have an app, grocery app. Well, are there ideas that are like my idea that succeeded? Yeah, I sent you a
Mm-hmm.
couple in the last couple of weeks. They're
Mm-hmm.
crushing it, and they're
Yep.
just recipe ideas. So
Yep.
yeah, so in reality, that exists. Okay. Uh, do I like skills to make a business extremely successful? 100%. What are those skills? Okay, these are the skills. I learned the skills and I apply them to my business, and I keep doing that until the business is successful. Inevitably, like I believe that it's gonna be successful. I'm not like, oh well, maybe it doesn't work out, but I've already lost, and now I'm just wasting time. And because you're married and have kids, you're not just wasting your time, you're wasting your wife's time and you're wasting your kids' time.
Okay.
You know what I mean? So the stakes are higher for you to, try to crush this as hard as possible, right? So it's not, do I embrace reality or do I embrace delusion?
Mm-hmm.
That is not the choice you have. The choice you have is, do I sit in uncertainty and waste time,
Mm-hmm.
or do I get my shit together and try to blow this up as fast as possible? You know what I mean?
Yes. When you say waste time, like, but we're still working towards that. But I guess, like, I think I'm hearing you like changing the internal voice, and in a way, kind of manifesting, and that's what you're saying, right?
Mhm.
Like, really believe, and say that it's gonna happen. Like, in a way, working towards that. That's me saying it. I guess the way that I show it, might show some uncertainty, might show, that I'm not sure about what I wanna do.
Yeah, like it's definitely going to happen is not something you should think about. That is good. Don't stop thinking about that. What you
Mm-hmm.
need to think about is, why is it not happening?
Mm-hmm.
And the only answers that you're allowed to look for are in the mirror, not the market, not
Mm-hmm.
Twitter's algorithm, not
Mm-hmm.
it's you.
Okay.
That's it. How what am I doing that is not working? Well, I see you go look at, I forget the name of your competitors, but you go look at them and you see
Mm-hmm.
their videos. How are they producing videos like that? Can I
Yeah.
learn how to produce a video like that tomorrow and iterate my way there? Yeah, I can do that. Boom. Now you have like a line of progress. Okay, what else are they doing? They have all these features. Can I build these features in the next 2 weeks? Boom, I build all these features. Well, they have this, and that. Can I do that in the next week? Boom, I do that. And it's this constant, what's the problem with me? Why am I not like these other successful examples?
Mm-hmm.
And then identifying the gaps and then learning them and practicing them until you're good at them. And at some point, you're going to crush it. The
Mm-hmm.
uncertainty is, oh, I'm blaming the algorithm. Oh, I'm blaming
Yeah.
TikTok. Oh, I'm blaming all of that. And now all this time that you're sitting there wondering why nothing is happening, you're wasting because you're not closing the gap.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Thank you.
Make sense?
No, it makes sense.
So let's move on
So
to the next questions. You just think about that in your own time. Let's
yeah,
move on to the next question. All right.
yeah, yeah. No, but
Let's
thank you. I
say,
mean, I'm not taking it the wrong way, and I appreciate it that you bring that up.
yeah. So let's say you're there.
Okay.
Grossy's crushing it,
All right.
right? You have the 6 kids. You have plenty to. We'll give you the other two ideas, although I did want to take them away from you. But there's no question mark,
Okay.
right? You have the grocery angle, you have the plant angle, and you have the smart home angle. I can see how this can all be part of a cohesive brand,
Okay.
right? You have those, you have the 6 kids, you have the 2 cars, no third mystery car.
Well, I wish there were more, but okay.
How many do you want?
Right now, man, it's because it changes.
Just
You
say
know,
a number.
like
Just say a number and work towards it, bro. You want
seven,
6 cars?
seven.
7 cars. All right. You have your
Let's
seven
do
car
seven.
garage. All right. With you're working on 3, 4 showpieces.
Okay.
Everything is great. All right.
All right.
And you're in that moment, right? You have the community. Maybe you're an advisor for an accelerator in Chicago or something, and
All
you
right.
go there and you help the community, and you're there. It's there,
Mm-hmm.
right? What else
Okay.
did you have? Right? That kind of gets the whole thing. And your kids are crushing it. They're like, Dad's crushing it. He gives me the energy to do what I want,
Yeah.
and I know I can always rely on him to help me out. All right.
Okay.
At that point, put yourself there. Put yourself there for 5 minutes. Let's take a break.
All
Just
right.
sit there in that power. You have all of that. Everything is crushing it. And I
All
want you
right.
to think about the next opportunity. What is so exciting for you
Uh-huh.
at that point in time? And I want you to live in that for 5 seconds. I'm going to take a break and I'll be
Okay.
back. All right. All right, my man.
Right.
How did that feel?
Um, it's a very unique experience. I'm glad that we're doing this.
All right. So what are the opportunities you want to try at that point?
Like this made me realize that like when I first started Grocy versus now, like I'm in a different um like state, I guess. Before I used to um have a some type of robotics company.
Yeah.
That was kind of like the mystery box.
Mm-hmm.
But remember how I was telling you earlier that like once you start working on it and you like it, like you start falling in love. You
Mm-hmm.
said that is not true. I think it is true. Um, and this comes from conversations that I've been having with my wife because she's basically my co-founder. She's
Mm-hmm.
been giving me a lot of feedback. And Grossy, like the ideas are exponential.
Mm-hmm.
I guess we're thinking about an app, but like this can go to local businesses. We can serve people physically, and Grossy is just gonna be like that medium of reaching them.
Mm-hmm.
So having warehouses, having restaurants,
Mm-hmm.
um, like really studying and improving like the human experience. I think that will be the next thing. Before, as I said, it was like robotics, but like the vision has shifted.
Mm-hmm. So
And
you
in
see
ter-
this, you like that opportunity would be like where Grossy is now the place where fulfillment happens, where like you can generate like whatever you have your menu, you like you're a restaurant, right? You update your menu, and then all of a sudden you now can get exact measurements of inventory and have that fulfilled.
because right now
Or what do you think?
we're trying to help them to pick up their groceries. Um, and what if you can do something like Amazon, where they
Hmm.
can order and we get them? That's where
Yeah.
the warehouses idea comes
Hmm.
into place. Like learning your community what they eat, which are the closest businesses that we can make business and serve the people. That's in
Hmm.
terms of like storage.
Hmm.
In terms of restaurants, like we are gonna know what they want to eat based on all the content that we're gonna have online. We can revolutionize maybe the restaurant industry. And it's funny because yesterday I saw a post in X where there's like this successful restaurant which only serves two meals,
Uh,
and they're doing successful. And I'm trying to do the opposite. I'm trying to be more dynamic, not just be like a Mexican cuisine or Italian cuisine, like be a dynamic one where
I love it. So it's like a data platform. It's more than warehouses and restaurants and all of that. you see the vision of this being a data platform where people can buy, like restaurants can buy data. Like, hey, in my zip code, what are people eating? And you have the thing because now it has social
Hmm.
sharing. You can see the likes, you can see all of that, you can see the comments, you can see all, and you can create this kind of data model where it can predict, hey, in this zip code, people love these kinds of foods, and you can show them menus, and from those menus, maybe they can get inspiration in that. I love it.
Yeah, yeah, the ability, having the ability. I was thinking more about like having the restaurant, so doing like the full cycle, having the warehouses, having the restaurant, having like the brain, which will be kind of grossy,
Hmm.
and serving the people in the community. Maybe expanding to other restaurants like or services.
I
That
love
can
it.
be also an option. I
Yeah,
didn't think about that, but I think you're touching on that.
I like it a lot. I like it as like because I can see the expansion coming from there, but it has to be based on this just amazing data platform that you're creating right now.
And yeah, I think we can accomplish that with grossing.
I like it. I like it. All right.
Um,
What is your proudest moment?
Proudest moment.
Yeah.
uh, I had a few, um, and I don't know. Like I think the closer that they're to the present, the more that they are fresh in my mind.
Mm-hmm.
But one that I was very proud of was graduating from the university.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and it was not just because of the title. Like that time was a very challenging time. It took me like 6 years. It was supposed to take 4.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like I grew as a person a lot because back then also I started living by myself.
Mm-hmm.
Um, like I had painful moments,
Mm-hmm.
and yeah, just graduating, going through like all these fires and finishing, like that was a very proud moment.
I love it. Do you have a second proudest moment?
I think it will be uh, like now, right now, having a home, having my daughter, my family, my wife. Like this is something that as a kid I knew I wanted, and we're here.
I love
Well, we're almost there because we want 6 kids. So I
it.
wanted 6 kids. My wife now
uh,
wants 6 kids.
yeah, yeah.
So it's still very very proud moment in progress.
I love it. And what's your story?
Um, so I was I come from a ranch
Mm-hmm.
from Zacatecas. You can tell by my accent, English is not my first language. But I was born in LA.
Mm-hmm.
When I was very young, months old, I moved to Mexico, Zacatecas, a semi-desertic place,
Mm-hmm.
and I grew in a ranch. Only my brothers and my grandparents and my parents,
Mm-hmm.
6, 7 people there.
Mm-hmm.
Until I was 11, we came to Chicago, Illinois,
Mm-hmm.
and right here I was exposed to a lot of things, including the internet.
Mm-hmm.
From here, I started learning, absorbing, watching YouTube videos,
Mm-hmm.
downloading all these programs back then,
Mm-hmm.
and just playing. And yeah, I like that. I always like computers. I think I started getting viruses because I was exploring too much. Uh, we hired a person to remove and put those antiviruses back then, and they charged us. My parents got mad because they had to pay for it. I was still young, like 11 or 12, maybe.
Mm-hmm.
And I did that like 2 times. And the third time I tried to solve it myself. I did it. I got some antiviruses. It was super simple what he was doing.
Mm-hmm.
And that worked. Then I learned how to reset like OSs,
Mm-hmm.
like Windows install it from scratch. And then I started breaking computers. and I had two computers broken, and I was able to fix one
Mhm.
with the other parts.
Mhm.
Uh, Fast forward, I went to college, and I was accepted for the architecture college.
Mhm.
First semester, found out that like I didn't like that, and I wanted to
Mhm.
pursue CS because I had this professor,
Mhm.
which I'm very thankful of having. He the first class was a CS Computer Science 100,
Mhm.
and it was to build an application using API Inventor or something Inventor,
Mhm.
MIT Inventor. Very easy way to build an application without actually coding.
Mhm.
So I built the application. It was very interesting. I feel like in terms of like presentation, I've been okay in
Mhm.
school and everywhere. Like I think I know how to surprise myself, and I use that to present and try to surprise others.
Mhm.
So the presentation of that project went well.
Mhm.
More interest came, and I applied for the engineering college in my university. I got
Mhm.
accepted, completed the course as I mentioned, and right now during those years, like I knew I wanted to build a company.
Mhm.
Um, but first, I needed a job to get a home because that was one of my priorities.
Mhm.
We got a home. Now we're working on like the second phase, which is building the company,
Yeah,
and here we are.
I love it. And what's the offer? Like, pitch me, Gross.
The offer.
Yeah.
Man, okay, this is something I need to work on. Um,
Um, let's work on it.
let's work on it. So, Grossy,
Mhm.
uh, your all-in-one companion. It will help you. Um, okay, let's start over.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
No, it will help you manage your recipes.
Mhm.
It will help you manage your finances
Mhm.
in terms of recipe, groceries,
Mhm.
items that you buy. It will help you explore new recipes, and yeah, there's more features, but like those are like the main three that Grocy can offer you
Yeah.
in general.
So
Uh,
all-in-one companion, definitely delete that.
okay,
Uh, so it's a recipe explorer manager and finance manager.
okay,
Like it's so yeah. So Grocery is this. I like recipe sharing app
uh huh,
as the umbrella. It's a
okay,
recipe sharing app that helps you explore new recipes, uh, collect, yeah, explore recipes, collect them, and then incorporate them into your grocery shopping.
okay,
That's like an easy one to kind of
hmm,
like show you everything, incorporate them into your grocery shopping, and helps you manage
yeah,
whatever the quantities and the finances, so you can have everything in one app. Like, so that
and
all in one is like at the end after you
oh,
explain everything.
okay, yeah. Because when I mentioned finances, like he offers two main services. One service is to scan your receipts and store them there, and also
Mhm.
extract like the items from the receipt and connect them to your shopping session.
Mhm.
So that way you know what's going on with your money. The other one has to do with the coupons. You take picture of coupons, you store them, so that way next time that you go to the store, you know which like items are in discount, for example. So you can make smart shopping.
Mhm.
That's what I meant. If that was not clear about the finance part.
Yeah, definitely this needs work,
Hmm.
kind of make it all cohesive.
Yeah.
But you definitely need a thing that orients people. Like for me, it's like AI notes app made for writers, right? And then
Okay.
I say, flow from writing to editing to AI at the speed of thought. So something like that. You need like a 2-line pitch, 3 sentences max,
Oh,
where
okay. I was
it
thinking
ex-
more about elevator pitch, but two line.
yeah, yeah, 2 sentences, 3 short sentences, just so that you be like, oh, interesting. Tell me more.
Hmm.
Uh, it's a whatever recipe management app that lets you share recipes. I like the sharing aspect, the new sharing
Hmm.
aspect,
Yeah.
because if you're gonna go for this data platform, having like I see 3 screens, right? There's sharing, then there's recipe management, then there's grocery integration,
Hmm.
grocery synchronization with the
Okay.
recipes. So a way to say that all in 2 or 3 sentences is gonna help out a lot. All right, how did you get your first sale?
I think my first sale was actually when I worked on the web version.
Mhm,
It was still Grocy, and it was a web app. Yeah, I posted it in Facebook back then.
mhm,
I didn't have all of the social media, including X.
mhm,
So I guess it was family and friends. Someone signed up and they started using it. I think I got like 2, 3 sales
mhm.
during the first week.
What
And
about like totally cold? Like nobody, none of your friends, none of your family.
none of them.
Mhm,
It was with this one, with
mhm,
the app version,
mhm.
and I think it was you. I think it was you.
I'm friends. I'm not included.
Okay,
But yeah,
so
yeah.
I think that only leads me to 2 sales then.
Okay. How did you
Um,
get those?
I don't know.
What did you do? No way. You
I don't
posted on
know.
Reddit. You didn't do anything.
Um, I think it was through Twitter, maybe, or
Yeah.
probably Reddit, because I think I told you that one of the bugs was it was not connecting the cell with the actual ID of the user, even
Mhm,
though by design, like the user was still able to use the application, but it
mhm,
was not collecting the data.
mhm,
So I was not able to find out who he was, but I know it was not you because I already saw your name.
mhm,
And I know that I share it in X, I share it in Reddit. Those are the places that I get the most views. I also share
mhm,
it on Facebook, but I thought it was from there.
mhm,
And yeah, the next thing that I see on Revenue Cat, I see like 3 sales, and I'm like, oh,
mhm,
I know one of them is I, the other one,
mhm.
I don't know.
Yeah, yeah. What
So
about the business cards? The business cards do anything?
the business one,
The business cards that you put in the shopping carts?
it's very hard to tell if it was that, and I don't know
Uh-huh.
because like the business cards had a code, so
Yeah,
you will think that that person is gonna use the code
yeah,
and start using the app
yeah,
for free.
yeah. You have a pitching problem right now. I feel like you're not getting any sales because people don't know what it does,
Yeah, yeah.
and you need to study the competition.
Hmm. I have a business card right here. It says one app for your entire grocery journey.
Yeah, that doesn't mean anything.
Yeah, right.
It
Do you
doesn't
see
mean
it?
anything. Yeah, what is your grocery journey? No, like you have to use so positioning in general is the art of using the person's mind
Okay.
to introduce an idea. It's not just introducing an idea, it's using the things that they relate to
Hmm.
and relate your idea using the things in their mind. So right now, grocery journey is a completely foreign concept.
Okay.
No one says that, right?
Yeah.
Uh, did you demo this to any of the customers other than me?
Nope, I have not. And I'll tell you the reason why I have not.
Why not?
Because initially, like the app was buggy, so I was not comfortable demoing something that's
Mm,
kind of broken. And then I was like, okay, you can uh, like store your recipes, but there's not an easy way to share them or pick them. So that's why I
mm,
started working on this new feature. And now
mm,
with this feature, I was hoping to start like doing more content, show
mm.
it there, and then start demoing.
Yeah.
Because right
You
now,
should
like
also
my
have reverse demos where your current customers email the mystery customer and tell them, "Hey, I would love you to show me how you use Grocy."
Wait, can you repeat that? Having my customers do what?
Demo your app to you.
Okay, okay.
It's like a
Okay, I see
reverse
what you're
demo.
talking about. Like
So
you
it's
did.
like, yeah, hey, show me how you use Grocy, and you just see them use it. Oh well, I go here.
Mm-hmm.
What do you use it for? I use it to store recipes. Well, okay, can you show me how you store recipes? Oh well, I go
Yeah,
here, I press this button, and you get to see that. So definitely do that.
yeah.
And what is the complete solution? So right now, you said it's to store recipes and then synchronize that with your shopping experience, right?
Mm-hmm.
So there's a feed of recipes
Mm-hmm.
is one way you can input recipes, right? And then if they see a recipe in the wild, they can take a picture and then
They
it'll
can just press a button and add them to the collection.
okay. Then what happens?
And then this person goes to the grocery store
Hmm.
and selects the grocery that she or he just added to their cart and
Also,
start
from
buying.
from the recipe that you can add to a shopping list.
Yes, yeah.
Okay.
Sorry, it was not clear on that. Yep.
Yeah. Yeah.
So you can add multiple recipes, including single items, to your shopping list, which is just
Hmm.
gonna be one, and it combines similar items. So if you have two
Hmm.
onions and different recipes, it will add them into a single row, saying
Okay.
two onions,
Yeah.
and it will break it by department.
Hmm.
And yeah,
Then they go to
so
the grocery store, they buy, and
yeah, so
and they take a picture
the,
of the receipt.
once they start checking their items, by the end they're gonna be prompted with a message that they completed the recipe. If they have a
Mhm.
receipt, they can go to, they're going to be taken to the homepage. They can click on history. The history is going to have like the history of shopping sessions. You can add your receipt in that session, and it's going to compare the receipt to the shopping session and match the items.
Mhm.
And it will extract the total of those receipts. You can add multiple. So that way, next time that you check, you can see your recipe, an image. You can see in the UI that where it connects, how much it was, so it's easier to read. And also, you'll know the total amount that you spent during that shopping session. So you're like,
Mhm.
oh man, last week I spent like $400. Why? And it was probably because you cooked some expensive foods.
Okay. Let's
And
take a moment. Let's take a moment here and dissect this a little bit.
mhm.
Because right now it's the line, the pitch is like from recipe to shopping list in one app, right? Uh, First step, collect recipes. Second step,
Shop for them.
no, because there's this middle step that I don't think
Mhm.
it's fully built out in your thing,
Okay.
which is deciding because it's not the journey in your app, it's the journey they're taking to shop, right?
Okay.
That's how you think about it from terms of complete solution. And if I have a bunch of recipes, I need to create a menu for next
Mm.
week.
Mm-hmm.
And is there a way to do that in your app?
Okay. Uh, There's a way to plan your menu, yes. You look at your single item list and also you look at your recipes list. You're going to have a bunch of them. You just can add them. Once you add them, you can shop for them.
Like you can add what multiple.
Multiple recipes, multiple single items.
Okay.
So,
Is there an easier way to do that where it's like 1 week supply of single items and then next week's menu? I want to eat this, this, and that. Because planning what you want to eat.
like having sets of recipes, so you can just add them.
No, having a calendar and saying Monday I want to eat chicken piccata and lasagna.
Hmm.
Tuesday I want to eat, whatever. And you set out the portions and then you just add the week to the shopping cart.
Yeah, no, there's no something like that. I know that some applications offer that, and that's a good feature. But as of now, you can only plan one thing at a time. It can be for the week, it can be
But
for the month.
but now it's Now you're relying on them to use something else.
Yeah. Yeah. If you want to plan like more
Because
ahead,
let's say
yes.
who you're competing with is a paper and pencil, right?
Mm-hmm.
And if they have to go to the paper and pencil, you're losing because they're
Okay.
just gonna do the whole thing on paper and pencil.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? So
Yeah.
how do you have them not use the paper and pencil? Where it's like they can plan their week, everything. It's through the stuff, and then maybe you can also, I don't know, link the credit card or something, and just authorize the grocery thing. I don't know. Maybe instead of
Mm-hmm.
just because the image seems like an extra step. You got to take the image right and all of that. So it's like
Mm-hmm.
uh there's still a lot of things that you can, but I think that is the complete solution is collecting recipes, adding recipes to your menu, like your master menu, and then
Mm-hmm.
creating weekly menus
Okay.
and weekly supplies, monthly supplies or something. So
For
you can.
single, and then sorry, I didn't tell you about this, and you mentioned it as a
Mhm,
feedback in one of our sessions to have like baskets for single items. We
mhm.
added something like that, categories
Okay. Uh,
where you can have multiple items from the
mhm,
single list.
mhm,
And let's say that you have, for example, Costco. You
mhm,
wanna add essentials from Costco like toilet paper. You just add
mhm.
that, and you have everything there. So we
Okay,
have the
that's good.
feature there.
Okay, yeah. Now you just have to do the weekly menu planner, like weekly
Hmm.
recipes. What I'm gonna eat this week, and you plan it out, and then you just hit the week, and then it adds it,
And
and
that's
that
the way.
way, because you want to think about now that we have a target at the end,
Hmm.
which is this data platform that you can use to predict,
Hmm.
community affinities to what they like. Now you're thinking, okay, what would be good data for these kinds of customers? Like the end customer now is the restaurant. What would
Hmm.
restaurants want to know? They would want to know what people eat throughout the week. You know,
Hmm.
what do they eat on Mondays? What do they eat on Tuesdays?
Hmm.
And if your app has no way of finding that out in a fun way, then you're missing that data. And the data
Yeah,
platform that does have that is going to win over your data platform.
because it was meant to be used like in a weekly basis, but it doesn't do what you describe where, oh, on Monday I'm gonna eat this, on Tuesday I'm gonna eat this. Like there's no calendar that's gonna tell them like,
Mhm,
oh, why did I buy this for? So yeah, definitely something that we can work on.
mhm.
Appreciate it.
Yeah. Uh, who are you serving?
I don't know, like I wanna say like everyone, everyone that eats, everyone that cooks. Actually it's not everyone then. Um Everyone that wants to track what they buy for food. Everyone that wants to try new recipes and have an easy way of doing so. Having like clear instructions of what items to buy and how to cook it.
Who
People
who
that
are those
like
people,
to,
bro? Like you need to
like
go find out who those
yeah,
people are.
I wanna say like moms for sure.
Yeah, moms
Uh,
and students. Like this is not a difficult question. Like you were that person, student,
mhm,
first time students, first time people managing homes, and then people who collect recipes. Aspiring chefs.
yeah,
People who think they're like mini chefs. They want to create their own recipes. This sharing part. Do you share the recipe and a picture, or just
yep,
nice?
yeah.
Yeah,
Videos coming soon.
videos, perfect.
Yeah,
Yes, it's like the cooking channel, but social
yeah.
media.
Yeah, that's what I changed my bio in my Twitter. I built a food app. Like it's not just gonna be for grocery shopping. It's gonna be like a food app. I wanna try
Yeah, it's the
to
Food
focus on
Network.
the
It's the
experience.
Food Network channel, but it's on social media. Social
Yeah,
Food Network.
yeah,
You know what I
yeah.
mean?
Man, that's a
Yeah,
cool
bro. This
idea.
can be
Like,
big, but you just gotta do.
hmm there's
What are
some.
their pains? Let's take them one by one, right?
Okay.
I have three categories. I have moms who like to cook,
Students.
students who like to cook, and aspiring chefs. People who think they're like,
I
you
think
know,
there's another one, content
who
creators. Because when you say aspiring chefs, like that seems very specific. Content creators, like
yeah, food
people,
influencers. Exactly. Let's call
yeah,
them
food
food
influencers.
influencers. I think that's a better one. And that those people will be great to target for marketing
Hmm.
once the
And I
social
think
sharing is up.
the video is gonna do a big part of convincing them to use it.
Yeah, because they can be like, hey, if you want the recipe, download Grocy app and follow me.
Yep. Yeah.
You know, and they already have traction. Like, there's so many people doing
Yeah.
cooking channels, so you can just go talk to them or food reviews and like be like, hey,
Hmm.
you know, uh, I'd love for you to be a sponsor or whatever. If you find someone big and he's crushing
Hmm.
numbers, you can give them equity.
Yeah. Okay.
Uh,
I don't even know how that works, but okay.
okay, but wait a minute. How much does it cost right now with the AI and all that? Is $5 a month?
$7, 6.99 to be exact.
6.99 a month?
Hmm. Yep.
Okay, and it includes everything, AI and
Yeah, it has a like a limit of credits.
okay. Why do you have a limit?
So if they go over the AI usage, like the company
Can't you
doesn't go
just
bankrupt.
no? But can't you just rate limit it in the background and then just give them a really cheap model that they can kind of do like hundreds of recipes?
Like yes, I can do that, but like my concern is not providing the good quality service because then it's like a crappy model, and then it's like oh maybe it's not really good extracting images, so it's gonna be not good. And
Mm.
I prefer to tell them that they're like, look, you have this much credits, you have it. Maybe in the future they can add credits.
I would, to be honest with you, make it free and have AI tokens and just make money off the AI tokens.
Because that's how it is. It's free. You can use it. You can search the feed, everything. Just we're charging for the AI features. So you
Yeah,
want
then
to?
don't do $7. Just do tokens, token packages, and get 50% margin on them. So
Yeah.
whatever tokens you use, put a 50% margin or 25% margin or whatever you're comfortable with.
Okay. Yeah. And I thought about that because I feel like the subscriptions are gonna be dying
Hmm.
because you don't want to be paying for stuff that you're not using.
Hmm.
So I like that.
Hmm. Yeah. Uh,
But you were gonna say that there's like three or two challenges, and you brought the college students and the moms. Where
and the
were you
food
going with that?
influencers. I want you to tell me their pains.
Their
So
pains?
what are the pains that moms are experiencing?
Okay. Um, Yeah, just managing. Like sometimes my wife is a good example. Sometimes she doesn't know what to cook for this week. Like we already ate certain foods,
So
so
it's not managing, it's exploration. It's boring food is the pain.
that's one way to put it. Yeah, foreign foods. Yeah.
Yeah, so the social sharing now is becoming way more important.
Hmm.
Discovering new recipes.
Yeah. So that's one. I guess the other one has to do with getting like. But I mean, we know the recipes have all the information that you need. So figuring out which items you want. I don't know. Maybe this is something that we can solve in the future because it's not really solving it. Like telling exactly which brands and having images, we can improve the experience when they're actually buying or checking the recipes. But as
Well,
of
to
now,
be completely honest with you,
yeah.
I don't think you need AI, all of those AI features and shit.
Okay.
To be completely honest with you, I think you making this a fully data platform and free and running ads on it and trying to blow it up like that is better use of your time because the friction, like if the complete solution is finding recipes, planning your day, your week.
Mm-hmm.
You plan the week's menu and then add it to the shopping cart, and then you check off your shopping list. You're done. You don't need the pricing, management, financial stuff, because that's the only thing you're using AI for.
But some okay, like what if you start adding recipes and they're super expensive and you have a low budget? Like I feel like that's when it comes into play. How are we gonna
But you
collect the
but you
information?
can get pricing information using an API.
True,
You don't need like a AI to
true,
tell you what
true.
things are priced at.
But how accurate is that? Because different stores have different prices.
Well, that's up to you and how you mine the data.
Yeah, and
Like you can
um,
mine it at Whole Foods and whatever. Like you can create these pricing lists by scraping data and stuff.
uh, I think doing it sounds easy just to script the data, but how easy is that to do in a global scale? Like different
Don't
cities have
do a
different
global scale.
prices. So how are we gonna who are we gonna serve? Just specific
Americans,
cities?
USA.
Okay.
And then
Even
once
in
you get
even
Americans,
even in the
then you can.
US, no, it's like I feel like prices in California are gonna be way different from Texan prices, don't you think?
Yeah, you can scrape data city by city. Like you can start in Chicago
Mm-hmm. Oh,
and
I
just
like that. I like that
serve,
because
yeah, serve people in Chicago. Once you crush it in Chicago, you can then move to another foodie town, like whatever, Boston or something, or Newport or whatever. Like you just move from city to city, and once you mastered Chicago, now you know how to run that same playbook in different
mhm.
cities. And now your data, all your data you're collecting, pricing data, and how you're scraping it and whatever expands, and you have this like super robust data platform.
Okay.
You can add maybe like take a picture of something, or take a picture of like you can add that as like a fun feature,
Hmm.
the AI stuff, and you can just do that token based. If you want to
Yeah,
take a picture of something and it'll tell you the recipe without, you just upload a picture, because
yeah.
that from the front end, not the financial stuff, just the front end.
Hmm.
Uh, you can do that, and then you can also maybe do, yeah, the financial stuff. The financial management stuff makes it uh, a lot of work for you, and I don't see the value.
Yeah, I feel like
It,
we,
it
we can
doesn't
focus.
align. It doesn't align with the main value of exploring new recipes and creating shopping lists. I think you can explore new recipes and create shopping lists with zero AI.
Yeah, I see it. I see it. And I was telling you about this exploring. Like this was not part of the application. Like these ideas came later on. So I think we're gonna have to kind of like pivot a little bit on the backlog that we want to work on.
Mhm. I don't know.
Yep.
I just think that, but let's continue with the pinks. So
Yeah.
moms, it's boring food. Students,
Yeah. Um,
I think it's
finding
the management.
recipes.
Yeah, it's not the recipes. I think with students, it's like, all right, I want to make chicken piccata. I want to make all this stuff, but I don't know the ingredients. I don't know what I need to go buy. I'm gonna forget something.
Yeah, and
So
also a lot of broke college students. I was one of them. So you wanna do budget friendly too.
yeah, yeah. So yeah, it's managing ingredients and managing budget. Ingredients, managing budget. Yeah, and food influencers want a large user base that's looking at their shit.
Yeah.
Yeah, more eyeballs. Yeah, and it's more eyeballs, and it's also uh, more targeting, because it's not just the eyeballs, right? Like
Mhm.
people looking at Instagram are looking for everything. People who are just going on Grocy, they are primed to get recipes or whatever. So like
Yeah.
once it has a lot of thing, if hey, you can add a click to their posts, buy my recipe book, and it takes them
Hmm.
to the thing, and you can charge them for that ad spot, right? like
Yeah,
premium users can link out to their stores. Uh, this becomes a much more interesting like business, I think.
yeah, because then you're selling in a way some type of art, like you're downloading others' recipes,
Yeah,
and it's gonna include their images. I mean, chefs, it's not just cooking; it's an art form. So
yeah.
having a book of that from your favorite chef,
Mhm.
like that's a good business path that you can take too.
Yeah. I feel like this, like I was gonna get into more product stuff, but I feel like the product is too early to get into that. So I'm gonna move to just branding things, so you can kind of embrace it and move forward, and then we'll do another one
Okay.
once these features are built out and you're kind of sure on a direction, right?
Yeah, I don't think I mentioned this, but there's like we want to improve the experience, right, of buying too. And I use my product, so I get like feedback, and I want to sell also products like bags or like gloves that you can put in your hand, so you can just put your phone and it's easy to use. Because right now, putting your phone in your pocket and unlocking
Yeah,
it and seeing it, like, it's kind of tedious. But if you have something like your palm and you just can go like this, check
yeah.
it, and keep moving
Well,
your
people
cart.
have Apple Watches. You just create an Apple Watch companion app.
Yeah, yeah. Well, I don't know how big the audience is, but what about the people that don't? I feel like there's more people that don't have an Apple Watch that does.
But you're now outside your business. You're a data mining platform. Why are you creating managing inventory of gloves and sizes and
Yeah, yeah, but I mean, it's improving the experience, no? Like it's, feel like it will be put some thought, find a product, and sell it. I think it's an easy way. At
the
least that's in
shopping
my
list
mind.
is not the is it's not the value here.
It's more about the data that we're collecting.
But what I mean is checking off the things on the
Hmm.
shopping list. You can have no check marks. Like you can the value is in understanding the quantity of food in this week's menu and making it into a shopping list. I can then just write down that shopping list and take it as a piece of paper or whatever.
Hmm.
That is the value is in the quantities, not the checking
Hmm.
of the thing.
Okay.
You know what I mean? And the discovery of the recipes, and then having a collection of recipes. All of that is the value. It is not whatever. And now you have to create inventory,
Hmm.
and manage inventory and shipping, and it's not part of your business at all.
Yeah, I mean, I guess it was a shower thought, and in my mind sounds easy
It's
to
because
implement.
there's no focus
Yep.
on what this is gonna be,
Hmm.
and you need to definitely focus on that, right? Uh, w- Imagine there's 100x one out there. He's just doing things 100 times better than
Okay.
you. Describe this person. What is he doing?
100 times better than me.
Hmm.
Um, I don't know, being more disciplined, I guess, and like breaking, having a schedule, a strict schedule, doing things um, on time. Uh, Maybe this times X one is planning better, using better methodologies to execute.
Hmm.
Um, uh, Disconnecting from different like places. So once
Hmm.
it's work, it's uh, work mode. When
Hmm.
it's family, it's family
Hmm.
work. Mm, like having a really strong connection with the customers
Mhm.
and listening and having that feedback loop where it's easy to implement, plan. I mean, I don't even know, but I'm just imagining.
Yeah.
That's what I think Times X1
Yeah.
looks like.
Why do you think planning is important? You said plan like 4 times.
Oh yeah, yeah. Planning is very important because you can kind of see by my drawing. I like to just do things, but
Mm,
once you start just doing things, you realize that you're going the wrong way. And if you invested some planning time, like you could have avoided those paths just by picturing them or imagine them. So that's why planning is very important for me. Having
mm,
a plan, even when I'm like coding stuff, having tickets and writing what I want, it's way easier than just start like prompting
mm,
cursor because then I can already have like a plan of what I wanted the future to look like.
mm.
And I noticed that that has exponentially increased my productivity.
Good.
So yeah, planning is very important. I assume it's the same in other aspects of the business.
I love it. Describe the most genius artist.
The most genius artist.
Mhm.
I don't consider my person someone that follows art, but let's see.
It doesn't have to be like art, literally. Like
Yeah, yeah.
it's
Um,
whatever you think is art.
I don't know, like the person behind you, Steve Jobs.
Why? Why? Why do you like Steve Jobs?
It's like such a cool like phone. I don't know if
Mm,
it was a marketing strategy that make us think that, but I do think it's very slick. Whenever they ship something, it looks and works just right.
mm,
It's very customer experience focused.
mm,
Like when you use it, it's kind of intuitive. Um, Once you start using other devices, you know you appreciate the design. That oh,
mm,
just the small spacing, the placing of the button,
mm,
like those things matter a lot.
mm.
And yeah, I admire that because that person did a lot of planning in my head.
Uh, have you seen the movie Spartacus?
No.
Okay, so there's this movie called Spartacus, and Spartacus was a gladiator, and
Okay.
gladiators were slaves.
Okay.
So he freed all the gladiators and raised an army against the Romans. And there's this battle, they all lose against the Romans, and then the Roman says, "Reveal to me who is Spartacus, and I will spare your life." So Spartacus goes to want to say, "I'm Spartacus," but then his friend stops him and says, "I am Spartacus." And then another person, "I am
Okay.
Spartacus." And then the whole army is, "I am Spartacus," because
Okay.
they're willing to give their life for this idea of freedom, right?
Okay.
What is that moment for you? Like, what would make someone say, "I am one"? Like what do you stand for that is so important that people are like, "Hey,
Like someone that is willing to take the bullet.
yeah, yeah." Why would you take the bullet, and why would someone else take the bullet for what value? Like, what are you guys stand for that
Hmm.
you would dedicate the rest of your life for, right?
Uh-huh. All right. Can you repeat the question? Like I get the idea, but what was the question?
So, what is the "I am one" moment? Like, what would make someone say that?
Okay. I don't know. Even though, like, obviously, I'm not in the best position. I think I'm in the best position that I can think of. But like, taking from a third point of view, people would not think that. But if my life was a movie,
Hmm,
like looking at my history, they will think like, okay, I mean, he's being him. He has always worked hard. He's
hmm,
a caring person. He has put family first. He has sacrifice. Like he has be he has spent money that he doesn't probably have to help other people. Those that he love. Like I feel like people would like to be Juan
Mhm.
because Juan is doing the right thing. Juan is working hard. Juan is not perfect, but is shooting for that.
Mhm.
So yeah, I think I don't know if that answers the question.
It does not.
Man. Okay, let's do it again.
Yeah. So yeah, working hard is good and everything, but is it like worth giving your life for? Like is like imagine somebody was to take that one thing that you stand for away from life that would make you really mad. What would that one thing be?
I don't know the ambition, um, the ambition to try new things. Like when I was in college, I joined these programs, which I'm very thankful. Like it was called American Issue. If anyone is interested in that, like it's for first generation college students.
Mhm.
Like they made me see that they made
What's the name of
me
the organization again?
America Needs You,
American Easy.
ANY. Yeah, it was a fellow. There is a 2 year fellowship,
Mm-hmm.
and they pair you with a mentor for 2 years with the same mentor. These people are like professionals.
Mm-hmm.
My mentor, for example, his name is Casey Redin, and he was the director of transactions from a building. The
Mm-hmm.
only 5 people were involved to making the university.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, they really promoted professionalism. They gave us the tools, and one of them was to be ambitious. And I
Mm-hmm.
feel like I've been very ambitious my entire time, but I feel like I'm more now after that.
Mm-hmm.
And if someone were to remove that, like my ambition to work on new things and dream, which many times leads to failure, like I'll be basically dead.
I love
So,
that's a good answer.
mhm.
So who are these icons? Who are our icons? People who are extremely ambitious or represent extreme ambition. Like who do you look up to that is like that? Like he's like, God damn. Everything was against him. The odds were against him, but he still chose to dream
Yeah,
big, think big.
and I think there's a few people. Um, One of them is Arnold's. I don't know how to pronounce his name. Arnold, the bodybuilder.
Oh, Arnold Schwarzenegger, yeah, hell yeah.
Yeah, I know how the last name goes, but I don't want to say it because
Oh,
it's gonna sound like the N word, and
yeah.
I'm trying to avoid that.
Yeah,
Uh,
yeah,
but that
yeah.
person, I read his book.
Nagel. That's the name. Nagel. Arnold Schwarzenegger. Yeah,
Yeah, that one. I'm
yeah,
scared. There was this time that I did say it, and people were looking at me like, "Oh, there was an emphasis on the
yeah, yeah. Just say Arnold.
Arnold." Yeah,
Yeah,
Arnold. I think there's not
okay, yeah,
many famous Arnolds.
yeah.
Arnold, his book is amazing. If you haven't, have you
Mm,
read his book?
yeah. He's
Yeah,
great. I love Arnold too.
Arnold, like
Yeah.
he started basically like knowing that story, where he started,
Mhm,
how many challenges he had. Like
mhm.
it really makes you relate to him. All the
Right.
things that he accomplished, the business that he accomplished, the position that he is.
Mhm,
That's one of him. That's one.
mhm,
Another one is Elon.
mhm,
I read his book. I don't know which book it was. I think it was one of the first ones.
mhm,
Like seeing how he did all these companies, where he started. Like I feel
mhm,
like I can relate more to him because like he's
mhm.
building stuff. Another guy was man. The book is called "When I Stop Talking, You'll Know That I'm Dead." I suck at remembering authors' names,
Yeah,
but I think it's called Dan, maybe.
yeah, yeah. Jerry Weintraub.
Yeah, that person.
Mhm,
He started, I think, selling milk,
mhm,
and yeah, he was an entrepreneur. He moved to very high positions. I think he was like working with Michael Jackson and
Mhm,
selling like concert arenas.
mhm,
It's been a while since I read his book,
mhm,
but I know like a lot of those things are in the back of my head. And
mhm,
those people basically started from the bottom, all of them,
mhm,
and they built empires. And they did it I mean, in the right way, I think. So
mhm.
I
I
will
love
will say those.
I love this ambition thread. What's the bad signal for you? So, like, Batman put out the bad signal. There's crime, and he shows up. What's that
Okay.
for you? What is the one signal?
Uh, According to who? Like to a
Like, what
family
is the
member?
something you see out in the wild, and you're like, hell yeah, I want to join this conversation. Like, what is like for Batman? It's crime, right? There's
Yeah.
crime. You shoot the bad signal. He shows up and saves the day. What is it for you? Can you show up and save the day?
um, I don't know. Like I don't know if I can even describe it. I feel like once you're there, like you'll know. For example, and I don't know if I'm getting your question right, but for example, going back to this saying why fellowship, like right there, I knew I was supposed to be there. I knew that there were people sharing very valuable stuff. I was learning new stuff. Um, like it was basically opening my eyes to a different world. Um, like the
Mhm.
books, I guess, just getting new experiences and making sense out of that. I don't know. I think that's my bad signal. I don't know if that makes
Yeah,
sense.
it's like wherever there's knowledge to be gained that fuels your ambition. You're like, that's where I
Yeah,
want to be.
and
Got it.
and not just any knowledge. I guess it's knowledge that kind of aligns with where I wanna go. So,
Yeah, yeah. The knowledge that I said fuels your ambition. Like it's
mhm,
that
yep,
kind of knowledge. You love that. You're like, where the hell is that? Let me go. I
yeah,
love it.
like it feels right to be there.
Yeah.
And I like in those places to be quiet a lot.
Hmm.
Like I don't know, like people like to talk and you wanna put yourself out there too. But in those situations, I like to just absorb and listen.
I love it. All right. Let's say you take all of that, everything we talked about,
Okay.
put it in a logo. It can be the logo you're wearing right now, and you put that on a hat. Why would anyone want to wear that hat?
um, so there's two questions to this. You're asking like what a logo will look and why would they
Yeah,
wear
you
it?
don't have to describe what it looks like. Just imagine all of it symbolized in a symbol. Why would anyone want to put that symbol on a hat they're wearing casual?
All right. Okay. Um, they would like they would like to wear it because it represents um, good intention. It represents understanding and equality. By equality, not in that weird way. Equality in that we're equal and we're relatable and like there's
Mhm.
yes we belong. Like I guess unity,
Humility. Yeah,
unity,
humility, belonging.
humility,
Yeah.
humbleness, ambitious,
Mm-hmm.
um, innovations, innovation, and funny.
Okay.
Because I feel like being funny or having like that mood
Mhm,
allow us to express better ourselves. Like it relaxes and
mhm. I agree.
yeah,
All right. Describe your brand in 6 words.
my brand.
Yeah, people who are like me are people that or something like, you know, who I am is, you know, 6 words. Like if someone doesn't know you and they're like, hey, you gotta follow Juan. He is,
Okay, my personal brand, right?
yeah.
Um, it doesn't have to be a sentence, just words. All right.
No, it has to be a sentence. It has to be a complete encapsulation. who you are.
All
It's
right.
like,
See.
hey, you got to follow Juan because
Okay. Um, one is real. One is real.
don't get caught up on the words. Just try
On
to
the
make it
word.
a super short sentence.
Okay.
Why do I want to follow Juan? Because
He's a real interesting guy that thinks outside the box and easy
you're
to
describing
chill with.
traits. Describe what you're doing actually.
He's building an app that I don't know, like personal brand in my product. I'm getting like
Yeah,
confused,
you're
but
getting mixed up. You don't know the difference. Yeah,
yeah.
but it's like for me, like founder supporting founder, right? Like
Okay.
I like that a lot for me. Like that's what I'm all about. Like I'm building caravan nodes, and I like helping founders. And
I
it, and it's
consider.
ve- and it's detailed enough that you know that okay, he's building a notes app and he's supporting founders. Like you can imagine
Mm,
that, right? Where it's like, oh, he's a good guy, super interesting. Like that, you can say that about anybody.
yeah. I don't know. Like some things that are common is he's a good team player and friend that you can talk to. But I don't know if that's very like brandy. Like that's more of
It's not. It doesn't describe anything. You can say that about anybody. A brand is something you can only say about one thing.
I don't know if I have one.
You do. You have a lot. That's the whole theme of this
Okay.
workshop is that you're too humble for your own good. You do like it's good to be humble,
Yeah.
and I get it. Humility is great. Uh, in fact, I liken it to a practice. Where like someone compliments you, and you kind of make
Hmm.
a joke or whatever. Like you never take that admiration and put it in your head. You kind of always say,
Hmm.
not, like everybody else. I'm just working hard. And
Yeah. I'm
that's
not.
good,
Okay.
but that needs a balance of confidence and power. I know what I'm good at. I know I can build a data platform that can power the food industry in Chicago in the next 2 years. I know I can build, and this comes from confidence and ownership.
Okay.
And that's something you need to embrace more, I think.
Okay.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. No, I hear you. I hear you.
Like Juan is building, you know, what I just said is a good one. Yeah, Juan's so ambitious. He's building a social recipe sharing app
Mhm.
and trying to make it into a data platform for the food industry. Something like that,
Mhm.
something where it's like, hey, Juan grew up in a ranch and
Mhm.
understands, like, has infused his past in farming with the modern tech era, or,
Mhm.
he's the intersection of, you know, agriculture and technology, like all of this
Mhm.
stuff,
Yeah.
like things you can own and
Mhm.
distill and try to see how that relates to you and all of that. We'll skip this question, but
Mhm.
think about it.
Don't you think like, and maybe it's just a change in mentality, but don't you feel like that's just simplifying yourself into a very small sentence? Like founders
No, because
doing helping founders.
defining yourself into a small sentence is better than no definition.
No definition. Okay.
No definition is nothing. Like uh, you know, forget. There's a funny way of saying this, but when I remember it, I'll text it to you. But there's like if you don't know where you're going, you won't end up there
Hmm.
anyways, or something like that.
Yeah.
Like if you have no destination, you're not gonna end up in a good place.
Okay.
Like imagine you're trying to go to LA, but you don't know where to go. You don't know which direction to go, and it's like you're not gonna end up in LA
Hmm.
magically.
Okay.
So defining yourself needs
Because what if you define yourself wrong? Like you don't know me, I tell you my definition. Like who
you're gonna
you
find out if it's wrong. You're gonna find out because you're gonna move in that direction and be like, ah, not my direction. Pick
okay.
something else. Commit to it hard. Go in that direction. No, not that my direction. Pick something, and now the exploration is meaningful. I have explored this path and chose not to pursue it, rather than I don't know what I'm doing, so I'm just gonna waste time till I find out.
Okay.
And usually this wasting time and finding out, you're reinforcing indecision in your personality, and reinforcing indecision in personality, you'll never decide on being somebody you're proud of, and your family's proud of, and everybody's proud of. And
Yeah.
being decisive like that is important if you want to have power in the world. Power of how people respect you, how people perceive you, how people want to work with you, how people want
Hmm.
all of this is power.
I like when you said that like having definition is better than not having definition. Yeah, like even if the definition that you give is wrong, at least you're exploring that. So
Mhm.
that's something I need to work on.
Yeah, that conviction is has so much energy in it. And it doesn't matter what the the conviction by itself is the thing that creates energy. It's not what motivates that conviction.
Hmm. Okay.
You know what I mean? And you want to train that conviction because it's a powerful thing to have. As a person,
Mhm.
what they say, strong beliefs loosely held, which is the best way to describe it.
Strong belief, loosely have. What does loosely have
Loosely
mean?
held,
Oh, loosely held.
yeah. Strong beliefs loosely held. So have a strong belief in whatever it is you're doing, but be funny enough to change your mind and any evidence, you
But that's
know.
what I tried to do here. And you were saying that it was uncertain.
But it was just loosely held. There was no strong belief.
Yeah, it was loosely held.
Yeah, there was no strong belief.
Okay.
It's
Okay.
both of them. It's strong beliefs, loosely held.
Like it. I like that.
You know what I mean? Yeah, you gotta have strong beliefs, loosely held. Anyways, same question again. New
Okay.
new page.
Okay.
Imagine your life at peak impact. I want you to draw your impact at that
All right. This is like a therapy session. Thank you, Sai.
one.
Okay. Ready?
Right. All right. Sure. All right. House. Same thing. You and the kids dreaming. All right. And then everything else changed. What's everything else? Let me know.
Um, well, the car is still there. I
Mm-hmm.
only drew one, but you already know it's six.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I put a three.
Mm-hmm.
Like we didn't go too deep on that, but like I wanna have a big land
Mm-hmm.
so they can experience like the openness,
Mm-hmm.
and I wanna have it a place where I can go and just also have peace.
Mm-hmm.
On the left hand side, we have three things
Mm-hmm.
where there's an arrow coming out of me to that place, being the
Mm-hmm.
center. That's like the grocery
Mm-hmm.
stores, the warehouse, and a restaurant.
Mm-hmm.
Like being center in that business and having more control of that.
Mm-hmm.
Right here we have the user that goes
Mm-hmm.
to this. Mainly it's supposed to go to the restaurant and the grocery store.
Mm-hmm.
You see three drawings. You see a
Mm-hmm.
heart, money,
Mm-hmm.
and happy. The heart
Mm-hmm.
means health. The guy is holding a phone, which represents Grocy app. And on the other end, you see that there's um, an arrow coming from me
Mm-hmm.
to four things.
Mm-hmm.
That's supposed to be the square book.
Mm-hmm.
uh, a heart which is health, and the other two is like a person with an idea
Mhm,
and a tool. So I want to surround myself with good tools, with knowledge books,
mhm,
with people that are creative, smart,
mhm.
and have a good health while being there.
Love it. I have it. That's it.